I'm about to prove to you that in the next 90 days with zero additional income, you can be financially better off than more than 95% of the people that you know. And if that sounds impossible to you, well, how about the fact that over half of the people in wealthy countries around the world cannot produce $1,000 in case of emergency. And on top of this, on average, debt runs 100% to 260% of annual income across the OECD. And so I'm about to hand you the exact step-by-step 3-month playbook that you're gonna need, and which includes a choice that can make you $600,000. This number will show up later in the video, but can be often worth more than people's houses. But before we get there, month 1 is gonna start with a habit that can already be costing you $1,000 per year. But before getting started, I gotta make the quick disclaimer that this is for educational purposes only and does not constitute personalized financial advice. If you like personalized financial advice, you have to speak to a licensed financial advisor. But first, we're gonna be talking about month 1, which includes a habit that can be costing you thousands of dollars per year. Okay, so for month 1, for days 1 to 14, I want you to track every single dollar you spend. This can either be in a budgeting app that connects to your bank account, which is a lot simpler, or for you people like me who like their spreadsheets, this is also an option. This is going to help you find things that we like to call phantom money, money that just goes away every single month when you're not sure where it goes. You just know you have an empty bank account. However, by doing this, by tracking every single dollar you spend, you're going to be seeing exactly where you spend that money and anything hidden that might come up. For example, excessive takeaway spending, excessive subscriptions, all these things are going to be revealed just by doing the simple process. And once you have these 2 weeks worth of history, you can even go back further to your past transactions, so you get a full month of history. We want you to build a budget, not anything crazy, just see how much money you have coming in, how much money is going out, and what is left at the end of that, which we call your surplus or your profit. And once you've created this budget, we now got the next 2 weeks, and what we want to do is build a $1,000 emergency fund. Now this isn't going to be a fully funded emergency fund, which I'm sure we'll get to later. This is just $1,000 to cover you for any emergency that comes up. And just by doing this, like I said earlier, you're already ahead of about 50% of the people in wealthy countries around the world. To do this, we can redirect some of that phantom money we found before, maybe pay some or spend some less on takeaways or any other excessive spending. We can also sell stuff because we want to get to this $1,000 as fast as possible, and we want to get to there by the end of your first month of this plan. When we do get to month 2, we're going to be talking about paying down high interest debt. This can be things like credit cards, car loans, personal loans, anything over 10%, but especially those sort of credit cards over 20%. There are a couple strategies to pay down debt in the best way possible. Dave Ramsey likes the debt snowball, which is where you start with your lowest loan, regardless of interest rate, pay that off, redirect those extra funds you have to your next lowest loan, and continue that way. That works great from a psychological point of view, but if you're decent enough with money and don't need those psychological wins, the financially best way of doing this is called the debt avalanche, which means you order your debts from highest to lowest interest rates, and you're going to pay off the debts with the highest interest rate first. Even if this is the biggest loan, that might mean it takes longer and you don't get that quick win of paying down one of your debts. However, from a numbers point of view, this is the best way to pay down your debt the fastest. And for the second half of month 2, we want you to be reviewing your retirement plan and savings. If you work in a place that has a employer match, we want you to be maximizing this match as much as you possibly can. It's free money, and if you do not maximize this, you're basically saying no to free money in your retirement accounts. The other thing I want you to look at is what fund type you're in. Are you in an aggressive of a fund for your investment horizon? In America, they have these things called target date funds, which is basically say when you need to pull this money out, when you need this money, it's going to auto allocate the aggressiveness of this fund. Here in New Zealand, we don't quite have the same things, but we have options to decide how aggressive a fund we want to be in based on our life stage and when we're going to want this money. And then this step, this is the $600,000 decision that we mentioned earlier in this video. So let's run a scenario. If we were to put $500 a month in from the age of 30 into a fund that averaged 10%, so this would be an aggressive fund. And another, if we were to compare this to someone from the same age, also putting in $500 per month, but going into a more conservative fund where it returns 5% per year, well, the 10% return is going to get you to $1,031, and the 5% is going to get you to $408,000. So roughly a $600,000 difference for your retirement just based on the fund that you're in. Obviously, this is just a projection based on those assumptions we use, and we're not sure what's going to happen in the future. However, this shows you the importance of choosing the fund type that's right for your aggressiveness and for how long you have until you retire. So in month 3, we want to automate and future-proof this plan that we've created so far. Firstly, we want to automate all our payments to go out on time the day after we get paid, so we're not going into any arrears or having any dishonors in our bank statements. We want to pay ourselves first. We want to make sure we're saving money straight away after payday, so we don't have any large sums of money in our account that we might think makes us feel rich and that we go and spend, but we want to go transfer that money out into savings or investment or paying off debt the day after you get paid straight away, so you can reach your goals without having to think about it. And speaking of goals, for the second half of month 3, we want to set some goals. We want to write up a plan, something physical or on a Word doc, something that exists and that you could access within a couple of minutes of someone asking you for it. And we want to define real goals, whether this is paying off debt, whether this is saving for a house deposit, or if it's a certain amount of weekly, fortnightly, or monthly contributions to your investments. Each country seems to have their own sort of government written financial advice that's not personalized financial advice, but websites that you can go to help you write some of these sorts of plans up in your country. And so just to recap, within these last 90 days, if you were to follow through on this challenge, we've saved $1,000 emergency fund to start us off with. We've gotten rid of all of our high interest debt. We've already made a decision that's going to lead to an additional $600,000 for our retirement. If you guys have found this video helpful, I'd appreciate a like and a subscribe. And if there's anything I can do to help, please feel free to leave a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching.